Juanita's life began in 1914. Her life spans the Spanish influenza pandemic, the women's suffrage movement, the Great Depression, World War II, and the Civil Rights Movement, and 19 United States presidents.
Happy birthday to you.
It's amazing. I don't think I've taken care of anybody who's made it to 107.
Happy birthday.
She still has all her wits about her, very spunky and easy to get along with, full of joy.
She is such a blessing to everybody that knows her, and it's just a blessing from God for her to be able to be here for 107 years.
She's a beautiful person, and I enjoy doing what I do for her.
I'm great. I feel great.
She said the one thing to do to get through to 107, you have to eat right. She don't want nothing that says fat-free.
I feel good.
We feel good.
I feel good all good.
Happy birthday to you.
I told the kids, I said, just get down. And then it wasn't a pow, it was boom, boom, boom.
Lanita and Howard Gant back at 7th and Hill Wednesday, the scene where her car was ambushed at a stoplight the day before.
They pulled right up. They had on ski masks.
We've seen the holes and shattered glass outside. Now a look at what those bullets hit inside.
She had been grazed 8 different times down her leg.
Gant's 11-year-old daughter Layla, a young gymnast, she was sitting in the back seat. And her 16-year-old son Howie up front, seen here in a hospital bed, shot in the back, but miraculously okay.
It's a blessing that we not having talk about funerals and stuff like that.
Joy, confusion, anger from these parents. Lanita recalls around 10 shots. She was just taking her son to track practice at Manual High School. Now, replaying over and over again the words of a witness who rolled up right after the gunfire.
Wrong car. That's the wrong car. And I said, yes, it's the wrong car. And that's what I said.
LMPD confirms this family was not a target, innocent, and the victim in this attack. Among the latest in a siege of violence in Louisville. Last year, the city broke a record with 173 murders. We are now on track to more than double that by the end of 2021.
That's why in this year's budget, one of the things I'm going to be pushing for is a victim/witness relocation fund.
Metro Council President David James, a retired officer himself, says shooting cases go unsolved as witnesses won't talk, fearing they'll be the next victim. But no arrest keeps dangerous people on the street.
As a part of our violence reduction, we'll be able to provide, a relocation service to move them out of the geographic location that has really got them and their families in danger.
The Gants holding out hope for answers.
You've got to find who this is.
Saying it's what these kids deserve.
Experts say the city's crime problem is actually fairly simple. If this vase of marbles represents the city's population, then these are the people doing most of the crimes, and reaching these people is the city's new mission.
I get the text every time there's a serious shooting. That all too frequently goes off. And when it does, my heart sinks.
And Councilman Mark Fox, a retired LMPD officer, is ready for that to change.
The criminal justice version of prevention is deterrence.
Wednesday, an esteemed professor from New York presented Fox and other council members a solution, a program that'll soon start up in Louisville called GVI, or Group Violence Intervention.
It's letting people know that the stove is hot so that people don't touch it.
It has a proven track record.
Project manager Jesse Halliday and others will use data to soon start reaching out to the people most likely to commit violent crimes.
We're really using the data to say who are the individuals that keep showing up on the radar.
And they'll put those people on notice by staging interventions that'll start in just weeks.
You take a collective of community voices, police, and social services and say, we want to keep you alive, safe, and out of prison. How can we help you do that?
Halliday says the strategy is simple but has drastically reduced crime in other cities like Boston, and she hopes Louisville will see similar results one day. Halliday says the community's support is vital for this new effort, and any church or group that would like to help can send her an email. We put her email on WDRB.com. In Louisville, Chad Mills, WDRB News.
On the court, Jimmy Green excels.
When I heard wheelchair basketball, the image in my head was just some guys rolling out onto a court and maybe throwing a ball around.
It's much more than that. Green is taking part in the National Veterans Wheelchair Games this weekend at the Kentucky International Convention Center.
I knew I could be more of an athlete than I was as able-bodied because there were so many more opportunities.
Paralyzed from the waist down after an accident in 1986, the Army veteran is now practicing for his 24th year playing, the first time it's been in Louisville, Green's hometown.
Never thought that it would ever be here. So it was about 2 years ago that we started hearing the rumors that Louisville had put in a bid, and I got excited then.
Green grew up as an athlete, competition in his blood. And he looks forward to seeing the same faces every year, a bond everyone competing has.
It's basically a 700-person family reunion.
But that extended family includes vets recently injured. Green has found himself mentoring the new journey they're now facing.
I relive the moment that I had just through them, and it's a beautiful thing.
It's a weekend of strength and stamina, one he can't wait to play in front of his friends and family.
I'm excited for them to see me play wheelchair basketball, wheelchair softball, and it'll be awesome.
At Louisville's libraries, you can still pull up curbside and pick up a book or a DVD. You can also schedule an appointment to use the computers inside, but the councilman and others we talked to say it's time to open up the libraries again on a larger scale.
Any kind.
6-year-old Brooklyn and mom Devisha Fenn depend on Louisville's libraries.
I have 4 kids and we come here regularly.
And that's the reason Councilman Anthony Piagentini says they need to reopen.
I can't tell you how many senior citizens that I have in my community where the library is the only access they have to internet, to books.
But as other businesses and services reopen with COVID protocols in place, the Louisville Free Public Library locations have remained closed.
We're on an island all by ourselves. Every county that surrounds us, Bullitt, Shelby, Oldham, they all have some levels of hours and capacity where you can walk in and walk out of your library.
Even though the official state map shows Louisville is no longer in the critical red category of daily COVID cases, a city map differs. And a spokesperson for Mayor Greg Fisher says that's part of the reason why the libraries are closed. Additionally, the union that represents most of the library workers isn't yet ready to reopen either, since staffers have yet to be vaccinated.
I am for safety and I'm for doing this the right way, but the governor and Dr. Stack have had guidance released since very early on in this process, allowing libraries to open.
And Piagentini believes there is a way to safely reopen them in Louisville, using face masks, limited capacities, and social distancing. Now, with all that said, the mayor's office says it does have a plan to reopen libraries like this one when the city can safely do so. In Louisville, Chad Mills, WDRB News. This downtown intersection of 9th and Jefferson shows you the problem. There's a city trash can here without much garbage inside it, but there are leaves, piles of dirt, and trash everywhere else. Right off the exit ramp to Louisville, a big welcoming party greets you. There's a crushed Bud Ice can, a used dental flosser, an empty styrofoam carryout box, and that's just for starters. Tuesday evening, Louisville's Director of Public Works shared a hard truth.
Nobody's coming back to Louisville if every place you look, there's dirt and filth.
Wednesday evening, debris and dirt decorated this sidewalk on 9th Street, and this was the scene along Preston Highway. WDRB Facebook followers report similar messes on South 3rd Street near I-264, South Park Road, and portions of I-265, especially near Taylorsville Road.
The level of cleanliness is because of our lack of resources.
A $26 million spending plan council's considering would designate more resources for cleanup and graffiti removal. About $1.5 million that the Public Works Director says would be used to clean downtown, hire additional people, sweep streets in suburban areas of the county, and clean up on and off ramps across Louisville.
I'm encouraged that city leaders really are dedicated to addressing this.
Sarah DeVasher Wisdom, the president and CEO of Greater Louisville, Inc., hopes council will consider the additional funding.
Prospects are very interested in a community that takes pride in itself.
Without improvement, she says Louisville might lose some of those prospects to other cities where this isn't the first thing you see.
Tuesday night, council members decided they need more time to ask questions about the spending plan to clean up trash before a possible vote. In Louisville, Chad Mills, WTRB News.